Clearing, graveling, delivering, and insulating, with our watermill still very much under construction and our workshop container and camper van very much needing to get under shade, the bolting of our steel shade structure continues, but just how far will they get?
I should probably save my energy. All clear.
Welcome back to our channel. If you're new around here, we're Brittany and Drew, two hopeful adventurers who got married and after 8 years of van life, found our dream property and moved across the globe to Portugal, where we're now documenting the journey of transforming this historic watermill into our very first home, not on wheels. Now, let's take in a deep breath and let it out. Let the adventure begin.
Well, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, and this morning I'm getting a bite to eat. I need lots of energy for continuing the shade structure. My buddy Matt's gonna come over and give me a hand. He has a lot of experience and gave us a lot of tips for this framing around the container. So if it wasn't for Matt, I would have zero clue what I'm doing. But he's coming over, he's an expert at this. And since my dad is gone, we set up a lot of the pieces just to be connected, but I need helping hands getting those posts set into the holes, cemented around the base, but getting them at the right increments where they'll be connected to the beams that go across the top, and then the beams that go, a couple of them across the bottom to make the deck expanding from the terrace. By setting everything up with pre-drilled holes, knowing that somebody else can give me a hand on this, it should make it come together that much smoother. I'm still intimidated by those pillars that are 6 meters, 18 feet that have to be stood upright in those holes at the right distances out, right to left, so it matches the framework on the top of the container.
Got my expert buddy here helping me today.
Oh, I don't know about expert.
Somebody with a lot more experience than me.
That's because of age, nothing more.
So right now we're fabricating basically just how we're going to put the beams that are going to go from the top of the container out across the spans, and today we're going to work together to get these pillars in place. That's one of the most precarious parts that I have not felt too comfortable with. Having the right measurements is key to this successful project. And one thing we want to do is this container roof is pitched back a little bit. The one coming out here we want pitched just with a slight slope about 1 inch for every 10 feet, and this is going to span out about 18 feet, so we need about 2 to 3 inches of drop to get the rain to go out that way towards our stream. So the top of this container is about 306 centimeters. We're looking at the height difference here on this terrace, and we want to get the perfect line coming out here. I like your technique right here that you made a perfect balanced level with some spare aluminum to get it straight so we can measure up then.
Yeah, as soon as we've got a mix, this one can go in.
One boss left, the new boss is here. I'm just the grunt. And over here we got one of our footers is filled up with water. It's clear and we think it's coming from the river down this way. So we gotta get this water out of here before we put a cement mix in. And I wanna clean up this wall just a little bit back here. No. The other day in the afternoon, you couldn't touch this metal though.
No, I know.
It was freaking hot.
Drew,
yep.
Whilst you're there, could you just come and hold this a second?
Yeah.
Once we've got this one in, everything's pretty straightforward from there onwards, as far as levels and everything's concerned. Right, hold it next to the aluminium. 280. I mean, that's perfect now. That's basically the height it wants to be. If you just finish that one off, okay, and then get a mix going, okay, I'll get this one ready.
Sounds good. So we're back to mixing cement again. Rock, our sand, making the mix here.
That one there. You see it's got a straight edge on it?
Yep.
Yeah, so we want that against the edge.
Wow. Those two rocks right there are going to hold a beam that's 12 foot in the air.
I'll get it more level once it's got more concrete in it.
Okay, good work on the first one.
Let's go.
So we ran into a little bit of a dilemma that we're trying to problem solve, because we want the measurements coming off the container the same amount for each one of these pillars. And the terrace is shorter from the container in this area as it is here.
And when we come out to this hole, we had to repack in a rock into this big hole because we just wanted to re-support it. But with the right measurement that we have, our pillar will be right on here, which is no good.
Get this one out, Drew.
Okay.
I'm going to put that one in instead.
Okay, let's get it in there. Time to make a cut for our third pillar at 468. We're gonna cut right there. So far we are looking pretty good. Guys, mind you, this is quite tricky because of the angle of this wall. Look at the distance here compared to how tight we are over in this area. Matt actually moved here from the UK about 3 years ago, and
I've been wearing these shorts every day since.
All right, we are looking nice and level. We've also been doing great today because the rain hasn't started. It's supposed to start raining this evening. Clouds have been a bit overcast. Giving us some much welcome shade on this project.
You see the pencil lines on the posts?
Yep.
Can you see them?
Yeah, at 2.4 meters off the ground.
2.4 off the ground. So let me just mark up the second one.
Okay. What's really blowing my mind right now with how accurate Matt got this is that we shouldn't have to cut anything off the top of any of these. Even with the ground having so much distance different, being much higher and meaning shorter here versus the length from the top of the terrace down, all of these are precisely matching at the top. You can see this line right here. Next beam, third beam, fourth beam. That is a job well done.
Yes.
And guys, we're gonna call it a wrap for the day. All right, we got 2 guys back out on the job site this morning.
I haven't got time for this, the pen's drying out.
All right, we got our markers stuck up there. Our next beam that we're gonna put in for the second row. We got our 4 poles in yesterday, and today our attempt is to get the 4 next pillars in. Matt's ready as ever today.
With shorts.
With shorts. All right, let's get these pillars up. Let's get these posts in the ground. It's a new day. Matt's back helping me. We are getting the horizontal beams put across all 8 of the posts that we put in and cemented the other day. We got 1 up. Things are moving quickly. We've pre-drilled the holes so that each of them aligns properly with the post here. And next, gotta go back up on the ladder and get the top beam in all the way across here.
Which way do you want the bolts to face? You want that facing that way, didn't you? So we're going to turn it over completely the other way.
Yeah, bolts will go the other way.
So it's going to be like that.
Perfect.
Yep.
Yep.
Sit squarer with your join.
Okay.
Old man jumping down wall. Oh. Okay, so we're going going to leave this end down.
Okay. Yep.
Bolts, washers, nuts.
Bolts, washers, nuts. One of these. That should be plenty. We got the bounty.
Ready.
You got it for a second?
Yeah, I got it. You got
Alright.
enough.
Yeah, there we go.
You need to be ready.
Okay.
Get your bolt ready.
Oh, where'd my washer fall?
I'm presuming you had your bolts ready, yeah?
Yeah, the washer. It almost fell off. So the lower hole. All right.
Lower hole, yeah.
We are through. Golden.
When you're happy.
Yep. Do it.
Okay. Good stuff. And then obviously the last one is the one where it's going to be slightly out. It might require a little bit more kind of fiddling about.
The idea is just to get them all snug and then tighten them later, really. Or would you do cross beams before you really tighten them?
I would do, no, I'd tighten these up first.
Now once they're all in place, okay.
Because then, I mean, it'll just be like, sort of here you see there's a few mil, you pull all that, otherwise you...
Look at the little puppy.
He's such a good, honestly, what a good boy he is.
What a good boy.
Such a good boy.
Thank you, sir.
No problem, mate.
Appreciate it. I'll take it from here.
Here, take this, our new bottle.
Don't you just mean our new bottle?
No, I mean our new bottle, the sponsor of today's episode, who's making sure that we stay hydrated and sustainable with their fully recyclable stainless steel bottles and their biodegradable dual-purpose plastic lids that come in some really fun colors. Or if you don't want to get your sparkly chapstick all over it, you can also drink straight from the straw. If you do get said sparkly lipstick all over the straw, there is no need to worry because you can store that chapstick along with a few other necessities in the secret little storage container in the bottom of the bottle. Like you never know when you might need a mint or a tea bag or a safety pin, and your bottle has got your back. You can also keep everything nicely organized in this little compartment that comes with it too. Staying hydrated is absolutely crucial for our well-being. We need around about 100 ounces of water per day depending, and that is just easier to count by saying 3 to 4 of these 32-ounce Hydro X bottles. Bottle bottles. And right now you can get 15% off of your purchase by checking out our link in the video description below and using our code. Now that we've loved on our stainless steel bottle, how about we get back to building that steel shade structure?
Let's go. Although these trees are beautiful.
As much as we need water, we also need shade.
Now with the holes marked, all the pieces basically in place, and having the help of somebody else, my dad and Matt included, which I'm so grateful for. It's like everything's sitting here like a bunch of Lincoln log pieces. I just got to drill some holes, get some things marked, and then I can start putting the pieces across the top. We did realize that we're out a little farther than we had originally intended. So I'm gonna have to add a tiny additional piece to the end of our 6-meter pieces that go all the way across this span where the van will be parked. But that's not a problem at all. I'm just happy I'm to this phase. Today's a much cooler day than the next days on the forecast. So if I can work a bunch today, get things put together, I'll be sitting in a nice spot to eventually get the panels put on the top. It's amazing how long it actually takes to just do like the simplest things, like get each of these leveled, make 2 full wheelbarrows of concrete to get each one of these posts put in the ground. It's a big project. Like I didn't really realize how big a project this actually was, but it's gonna be so satisfying when it's put together. And then eventually, once we're parked here, I'll fabricate the deck. That'll be for a later time, but I will get all the framing, the panels across the top. I'm excited to get this all put together. The hard part is now behind me. There's still a lot to do, but I'm feeling very good about this project. Let's get to it. I hope you guys have enjoyed watching it from the beginning, planning stages, all the way through, chopping, drilling. All right, 1 pilot hole. Next drill. Woo! 3 more to go.
Nothing like breakfast of champions. My goal is to get all of the cross beams that are up here up and in place, connected with each of the extensions I'm building by midday. It's really pleasant down here right now. It's so cool in our valley, like such a big difference in temperature compared to where we're at in the camper up there. It's gonna be a good life once we move down to the bottom of the valley, especially with this whole structure over us. All right, I might get to it.
All right, I got these 4 pieces drilled. Time to take the connectors over here and get them put on there.
I want to show you guys how I make all of my bolts. I bought quite a few 50 millimeter, 60 millimeter, 100s, 120s, but sometimes I need longer ones, or in this case, I've ran out of 100 mil bolts. These are all M10 threaded. So I've purchased threaded bar that comes in 3-foot sections, 1 meter.
I've marked it all at 100 mil. And when I go to cut these in the saw, I want to have bolts on them first. Otherwise, the threaded bits, they just get too hard to get a bolt back on because they get all discombobulated. So I'm going to thread these onto every section before I end up cutting them in the saw over there. In each section, I want to have 2 bolts, that way I can spin them off each end. So this particular one, I'm going to be able to make 10 bolts. So that means I need 20 nuts. And I'm going to spin half on from this end and half on the other way. That way I'm not spinning like crazy.
It just takes a bit more effort and quite a bit of time to spin these on. Chop, chop, chop. Might as well give myself a little massage while I'm at it. That actually doesn't feel very good. So there it is, all 20 glorious bolts slid onto the threaded bar, looking like an abacus. I know I showed how this was done in a previous episode, but I think it's a genius hack. Anyways, let's get chopping.
And there we go, the last one. See how it's all chunked up there at the end? If you were trying to get a bolt on, you'd never get it, but this way you can spin it right off. Sometimes it's a little hard at first, that's why I got gloves on. I mean, you could always clean it up with a file, I guess, or a grinder, but that just would take a lot more time. There we go. Again, you want to do this on each end. Get a clean threaded bolt. Alright, there they are. All 4 additional pieces added on. Time to get all the cross beams put across the span up here, just like the first one I had set last night.
It's getting to the point of the day, it's midday,
And this metal, just to touch it, is so hot.
I don't know how much longer I'm gonna last. So things are coming along. I got all the struts up top right now, the supports. There's 8 of those going across. Just got to keep going along here, drilling the holes while I'm up this ladder. Yeah, I'm trying to make sure I feel good every time I step onto this ladder and go up it.
Make sure everything feels nice and secure for every handhold, especially when I got to carry the drills up and down. There's a little look from above. These are coming together pretty nicely. All right, nice and lined up, baby. If I can just get the washer and the bolt, the nut out of my pocket. Sweet. All right, what do you think, Mrs. Adventure?
You've done an amazing job.
One final look. I checked it, measured it about 4 times, rearranged things, but I'm ready to drill the last 3 beams.
And then the roof goes on?
Those have to be put on all the framing out there.
Oh, wow.
So that's what all this extra steel right here is.
Soon. Soon and very soon.
I just like how straight everything is.
Yeah, you've done really wonderful. I mean, it's taken, this is like week number 3.
It's been a lot of steps to this. I definitely underestimated the amount of work that this took.
But you know, you never like to do anything halfway. It's not going to be a simple shade structure. It's going to be an amazing shade structure that's going to last the test of time.
It's going to last for years.
Forever.
One of our neighbors came over recently and was talking with Brittany, and they were up here looking down on it as I was putting everything together. And she goes, "Are you building a concert stage?"
I told him that.
Oh, you told the camera already?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that story. Maybe one day we'll set up a band on here.
We're going to have to. Yeah.
Party. I just came down here to open up the container to get working on the shade structure, and I know some bees sometimes get in the back of this box, but yeah, he just came out and stung me right on the top of my nose. Oh, that sting. On my nose? Never had that done before. I don't know, I'll check back. Maybe I might have a crazy swollen nose. Well, get working. Can't sit around and whine. Ah, there it is. There's another one. It's the worst spot every time I go in the container, this door. Oh, man, that stings. Just gonna power through it. So the goal right now is to start on the 30 by 30s, which are the pieces that go this direction across here that the roofing panels will get screwed down to. All of these have been pre-drilled in incremental spots. So that way, once they're up there, I should just be able to put a hole down onto the top beam and connect it through one large bolt all the way down. In theory, it seems like it should go really fast, but I know it's gonna take a while. Plus, I have to make 56 130 centimeter bolts because they don't really have bolts that size around here, many of the shops. How you like this job?
I feel like I'm in a factory, a lovely factory, anyway, with a pool. But yeah, I'm on the last rod.
You've had to make 35 bolts for me right now.
Not too bad. Hopefully it's helping you.
It is.
Get this job done faster.
I know. Here we go. But first things first, I got the metal put down here. I need 7 of these to be able to go at incremental spots across here. Some will be 6 meters long, the rest I need to cut at 4 meters. And I'm gonna make one template version to go across the top. And once that's in place, then I'll replicate it and do it all in a line down here so I don't have to do all the holes up top. Okay, it's in place. We just got to mark each one of these and drill the hole. You can see these have all been pre-drilled here. However, what I realized is that I left a little bit more of a gap on some of these, the way they fit in here. Like this one, for example. I was just trying to go for an even end cap piece out there, and for some reason, some of the dimensions were off just a little bit. Oh, I'm gonna pay for that in drilling holes. First time using this much steel. First time doing many things around here. So I got my first piece in place out here. I just got to tighten on the end bolts and I'm feeling good about that, and I'm just gonna replicate it across the entire top here. Guys, I just realized something funny. I literally built the scaffolding into the entire roof structure here. I totally put that beam right through it. Overtime tonight, guys. Working overtime. The shade structure is coming along. I got a lot of the cross supports that the steel roofing panels will be screwed directly to, so that feels really good. I'm feeling a bit gassed. I feel like I'm under a lot of pressure. There's a heat wave coming, and I would love to get the van down here now that we've got it washed, passed our annual inspection. It would just feel so good to get down here, but I feel like this project is a big one and there's so many more hours to be put into it. I'm gonna do some final parts of this project and then call it a night. It's taking all my energy. We'll see if I get it done in time for this heat wave, or I don't know. Doing my best, and that's all I can do. Good night, guys.
It's 8:30 at night right now. Looks like he's setting up for a concert. But I think the next step soon enough will be to put the roof pieces on. That'll mean that we are close to being done with this project, and I can have my husband back in the evenings. Oh, hi Minu. Hi. We're gonna have to relocate the kitty shack. Not quite sure how we're gonna move all of Catlandia, but I think you'll like it down there. I think you'll feel just at home. It'll be even closer to the mill. They love it down by the water there. Isn't that right?
It doesn't really hurt. It just feels like such a strange feeling and poofy. I was riding with my mom right now and she said they used to put amberry juice on it.
What's that?
That's exactly what I asked. It was spit of chewed tobacco. So I wrote her back and said, I'll have Brittany chew some tobacco for me.
I don't think so.
And then she also wrote, Matthew McConaughey recently got stung by a bee and this is what his face looks like.
Oh gosh.
Matt and I can bond.
Yeah, I see the resemblance a little bit. Oh. Luckily, after 48 hours, the facial swelling went down and Mr. Adventure's oh-so-handsome face was fully restored. Let's hope that never happens again.
Feels like I have one huge jungle gym out here. Can swing around like a monkey, swing it from the rooftops. I should probably save my energy. All clear. What are you guys looking at? It's a little harder to do while holding a camera between my knees. Alright, it's marked, lined up with the beam. These ones should match all of those when I get them out there at the end point, and then all the way across here. Alright, all the beams are in place there. I've come to a realization that it's getting much easier to complete this project. Everything's connected and tied together, it's secure, so I'm not having to go up and down the ladder like I was originally on those single pylons or pillars out there when it was like rocking back and forth and super sketch. I have a plank like this out here, more supports. Of course, I don't want to stand at the end of the plank or it's going to be like a teeter-totter. Yeah, I'm at a good point with this. Just imagine when there's green panels across this whole thing, covering the container, preventing it from being hot inside in the summer months. Our camper nice and parked in the shade. And then us just chilling on the deck that'll be over here off the terrace and listening to the sound of the birds, the cicadas, and the brambling creek. Oh, just listen to that peace and quiet. That's definitely what drew us here. The peace, the quiet, the nature.
Stay tuned for our next episode when the shade structure gets complete and we finally get to move under it. I can't wait. Beijinhos, kisses. See you back here soon.